feels good to be back. Since the dawn of time, the recreation of old TV shows, bringing them back for revival series or spin-offs or remasters or remakes or whatever you can say, taking in a beloved franchise or IP and bringing it back mostly for cash grabs in some capacity, whether it's, I just said, as an unearned sequel or revival or whatever it is, usually doesn't end too well. But suddenly, something along the line, we got one of the best ones ever made in Dexter Resurrection. I've talked about my love of Dexter on this channel more than once. And I also talked about how I was highly skeptical of Dexter Resurrection because Dexter, the first Dexter series, ended terribly. Dexter New Blood ended even worse. Dexter Original Sin was pretty decent, but that doesn't mean Dexter Resurrection was going to. I didn't think that we were ever going to get a return of Dexter in any capacity. But I was wrong because we ended up actually getting a return of Dexter in Dexter Resurrection. I believe I even made a video about the first episode saying that it was really, really good. Now, for a variety of reasons, I didn't do the thing like I did for The Last of Us Season 2, where I made a review of every single episode after it came out. I wanted to watch Dexter Resurrection and finish the entire show before coming on here and giving you a full review of the series, just trying to switch it up a bit, do something a little bit different. Because I was curious to see if they could keep up the momentum of the first episode throughout the entire 10-episode run, and fun fact, they did. Every single episode of Dexter Resurrection felt like it was better than the last in some capacity and did something engaging that not only kept me interested through every single episode, but actually was one of the first times in a while where I was watching a television series on a weekly show, having to wait till the next week to watch an episode of it, that I literally could not wait for that episode to come out. I was like, this is going to crash and burn at some capacity. They're going to lose me. I know it's going to happen. Then episode 6 came around. I was incredibly interested. Episode 7 came around. I was incredibly interested. Episode 8 came around. I was incredibly interested. And then the incredible episode 9 rolled around where the most controversial thing happened. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they actually pulled the trigger on that. Now it's episode 10. They have a lot of things they have to deal with here. How are they going to possibly do it? In episode 10, we'll get to that in a second. But with each episode of Dexter Resurrection, something kept me hooked throughout the entire episode. The entire episode was fantastic. All the side plots, all the side threads, the main character beats, Dexter's evolution as a character was incredibly interesting. We'll talk about all the characters individually in a moment, but then episode 9 rolled around wherever they ended up actually pulling the trigger and killing Angel Batista, which, in my opinion, I felt like was probably the wrong choice. At least at the time, I didn't know what that meant because I don't know where you can kind of go from there. From everything that we know about Dexter and the attempts of they tried to end this character in a couple ways. They tried to kill him with Harrison, and they tried that he was just going to escape his death. But them killing Angel and using Angel as like another example of the people around Dexter dying, there was something interesting there. Because in my head, the most poetic way that this was going to end was Dexter was going to be caught or he was going to be killed, and Angel Batista was going to be a big part of that. However, what they did was they used Angel Batista as a further kind of evolution in Dexter's character, which was incredibly interesting and not a path that I expected them to go. And then with everything that they needed to juggle in episode 10, they landed it. And of course, they didn't have the task of having to definitively end that character like New Blood in the original Dexter series did. They just needed to give you something good enough as a finale that brings you back for a potential season 2, which I believe they already said that they're going to do a season 2. I just don't think it was officially greenlit yet, but with all the raging reviews and as good as this show did, they're absolutely going to bring it back. It's just a matter of time before it gets the official green light. But the final line is something along the lines of, I'm Dexter Morgan, I'm who I need to be, and I'm who you want me to be. That's brilliant. It's such a brilliant writing, and there's so much that they can go with in season 2. Joey Quinn coming back, the New York Police Department coming into it, the New York Ripper still being at large, and Dexter having all the files from Prater to go after these other serial killers. But the one thing that they did here is that they evolved the Dexter Morgan character in a more interesting way. Dexter kind of finally coming to grips with the fact that he's not really an emotionless serial killer who is going through life anymore to just get to the next kill. That's not who he is anymore, and I think he's, like, Dexter kind of coming to grips with that it's just as much as protecting innocent people and protecting his son. Dexter Morgan is no longer emotionless. That's not who he is. He is a person. And it was something that his flashback with Dokes even said is, underneath all that shit, Dexter Morgan is a good person. It's underneath everything. There is a kernel of good there. But throughout the season, Dexter is like watching these serial killers and realizing, yeah, they're kind of like me where they don't want to get caught. But the more I watch these guys, we're nothing alike. These are sick freaks killing innocent people in brutal ways. And I literally cannot imagine, it's sickening. In the episode where Dexter watched the Rapunzel video and kind of came to terms with that, where he was like, oh, I can't fit in here. Like, these people, they need to go. Like, that was incredibly interesting. And even the line where Dexter comes face to face with Brian Moser after Angel's death, the flashback, not the flashback, but the ghost of Brian, and Brian trying to tell Dexter, like, yeah, I mean, you're listening to your dumb dad, your fake dad, like, you shouldn't feel this at all. And Dexter, like, saying, Angel's death hurts right in here. And even telling Prater before he was going to kill him, that was like, I realized that justice is a very big part of this now. It's not just me needing to get to the kill anymore. There's evolution in Dexter's character there. And yes, Dexter always kind of cared about the innocent and doing the right thing in some capacity. But a lot of it, he kind of chalked it up to just being the code. Now this is who Dexter is. I remember even in episode 2 when he stopped the dark passenger from getting into the Uber car, and Harry Morgan was like, you're stopping a killer from, like, you're putting yourself at risk to protect innocent people now. The identity and the theme of justice in Dexter's character was kind of like, I felt like they could have expanded on it a little bit more, but it was in there a lot throughout the season. The more I kind of like sit back and look at it, I really like that. And when I go back to thinking, like, how are we going to wrap this up if Angel Batista is not in the picture, I think they're trying to do something more with Dexter's character to kind of make it a little more complicated how we're going to end things here. Maybe even wanting to redeem him a little bit more and root for him. But I think that the interesting part is that no matter how more morally correct Dexter Morgan becomes, maybe morally correct is the wrong way, like, he's still a serial killer, like, don't get me wrong. But the more goodness in Dexter Morgan that starts to show, there is still that complication there that he is still going to get people around him killed. Like, that is inevitable. And I think he's going to have to come face to face with that. Maybe that's how you kind of end it, is that he's realizing, like, if I actually cared about justice and protecting people, like, I need to go. Like, that ultimately, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I am literally getting people killed. And that was something that Dexter has run away from a lot. I think that's an interesting way to end it. But alas, we're not there yet, because it seems like we're going to get season 2, season 3, season 4 of Dexter Resurrection. I would hope we don't stretch this out for 8 seasons. I would like to see like a season 2, 3, and then probably end it on season 4. That feels like a comfortable run. With season 2, I would definitely bring in Joey Quinn and Masuka after learning about Angel Batista's death. I would expand on Harrison being in college and going through the police academy. I would explore Dexter chasing down these serial killers, and I would maybe potentially hold off on the New York Ripper. I know we kind of punted it out of this season, but I would make the New York Ripper, like, have it be more involved in season 2, but probably maybe have the focus on Dexter with the files of the serial killers of Prater kind of being more at the forefront. I think he even left the file of the New York Ripper in the vault, so he's not really all that interested in that. But we can kind of build up the New York Ripper as a really big bad going into the later seasons of Dexter Resurrection if we don't just bring him in to be a villain for Dexter to deal with now. I would even be more interested if Dexter found a file of one of the bigger villains in the Dexter books. One of like the bigger psychopath ones was the Doctor in the Dexter books that would like mutilate his victims alive. I think like if we did that where Dexter has these files of serial killers and he's going after them and he gets a hold of Rapunzel and takes him out, but then he like finds the doctor and a couple of the book villains, and maybe we do the book villain in season 2 while subtly kind of bringing in Joey Quinn and subtly bringing in the New York Ripper. And then season 3, like Dexter and the New York Ripper kind of like, now they are going after it, and maybe season 4, like that is where that confrontation is at a full head, and that Dexter and the New York Ripper are going back and forth, and by the end of it, Dexter kind of realizes that he has to end his life in some capacity, or he has to finally give himself up because he's going to get Harrison killed if he does not. I don't know, there's so many really cool paths that they could go down, and I'm incredibly excited, but I'm so happy to say that Dexter Resurrection is one of the best revival series that we have gotten in a very, very long time, maybe of all time. I was incredibly in love with this show from the moment it started till the moment it ended. To me, it's like a 9 out of 10. It's really good. It's one of the best seasons of Dexter we've ever gotten, for sure. It's up there. I mean, to me, it's like season 4, season 2, season 1, and maybe Dexter Resurrection. I would even go like, to me, it's like season 4, season 2, Dexter Resurrection, season 1. I mean, it's top 3, top 4 for sure, top 5, no doubt. But yeah, Dexter Resurrection, so good, so good. Highly recommend checking it out. If you were skeptical of the new Dexter revival, this is it. This is really good. It feels like Dexter again, and I'm excited for more in the future. So that's it. That's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next couple days. Peace, love, adios, and bye-bye. 'Cause when I see your eyes, I hear